I would like to dedicate this video to Jerry S., who recently passed away. He was a major factor in my spiritual growth, and over the past 2 years, Jerry was a kind of spiritual advisor by example. He had a tremendous amount of spirituality. When I think of Jerry, I think of empathy, love, forgiveness, honesty, a caring sponsor, a good friend, a loving husband and parent. He was heavily involved in service work and had a knowledge of the history of the Wilson House. He started a Wednesday night 11-step meeting during the pandemic. When Jerry spoke, he spoke from the heart and was very honest about his growing up in a dysfunctional city neighborhood, just like a lot of us. The Wednesday meeting was a speaker discussion meeting, and he would ask other alcoholics to speak at the meeting. Many who spoke felt so comfortable at the meeting that they would return on a regular basis. I was asked to speak at the meeting about 2 years ago, and I have been a regular ever since. I first met Jerry about 10 years ago at the Matt Talbot 41 retreat in Wareham. I had talked to him at a couple of retreats, but he stopped going on the retreats a few years ago because of his health, and he was now living in New Hampshire, and it wasn't convenient to go to the retreat anymore. Before he had moved to New Hampshire, he had been a pretty regular attendee at the lifeboat meeting and the Cohasset Unity meeting. Many of the men who attend the Wednesday meeting knew him from these meetings. I never attended the lifeboat meeting during that time, and rarely attended the Cohasset Unity group. I only went there when we had a commitment there. I had not seen Jerry in a long time, but Jerry was looking for someone to speak at his meeting, and John N. suggested he ask me to speak since I was celebrating my 40th anniversary. Tom D., who now co-chairs the meeting with Ron, was asked by Jerry to speak at a meeting about 3 years ago when the meeting was first getting started. Tom became a regular at the meeting and eventually asked Jerry to be his sponsor. Jerry sponsored a lot of men, and he would make himself available when his sponsee needed help, or even when other alcoholics needed help. For example, he stayed after one meeting to share his experience with the side effects of treatment for prostate cancer with another alcoholic who was being treated for prostate cancer and was having trouble with the side effects. He showed empathy to me when I was given a diagnosis of 6 months to a year to live with my pancreatic cancer. He would visit fellow alcoholics in the hospital and invite them to his Wednesday meeting. He would invite alcoholics to his summer retreat at the Wilson House in Vermont. I think the last one we went on, there were over 30 attendees. He had been running the retreat to the Wilson House in Vermont for a long time and was very knowledgeable about the history of the house. He also volunteered to do some work up there when the house was being remodeled. I think he did the flooring. He invited me to attend the retreat in 2022, and I invited Charlie F. We have gone on the retreat for the last 2 years. In 2023, Jerry ran and attended the retreat, but you could tell he was not feeling good. He was not able to participate in all the physical activities that he had been able to participate in the previous year. While at the Wilson House on Saturday, we would have a gratitude meeting at the gravesite of Bill Wilson and his wife Lois. In 2023, as our group gathered at the gravesite for our gratitude meeting, we had an opportunity to participate in an experience that demonstrated the inclusiveness of Alcoholics Anonymous, the love of one alcoholic for another, and how accepting things as they are, not as I would have them, is so important. Nothing, absolutely nothing, happens in God's world by mistake. Last July, Charlie and I arrived early at the gravesite, and there was a van parked there blocking the road to the gravesites. When we got out of Charlie's SUV, we realized there was a group of people who were looking for Bill Wilson's grave, and they were having problems finding it. They were from Honduras, and only one of them spoke English, and he acted as a translator for the group. Charlie, through the interpreter, was able to show them where the grave was located. At first, when our group started to arrive, some of the people were a little upset because the people from Honduras were blocking their parking spots. But in the end, everybody accepted things as they were, and we started to talk to the group through their interpreter. We found out that one of them was a recovering alcoholic with 5 years of sobriety. After everybody arrived, and we were about to start our gratitude meeting, in the spirit of inclusiveness, we asked our friends from Honduras if they wanted to stay around for the gratitude meeting. They decided to stay, and with the help of their young person translating, they were able to participate. Their recovering alcoholic member was able to share his story through the interpreter. After the meeting, we all shook hands, took a picture. Charlie and I went back to our cottage, and Jerry and the rest of the group took the Honduran friends back to the Wilson house to show them where it was. When they got there, they shared refreshments and water with our new friends. I started to think why the world can't be more inclusive and accepting of different people. Focus on things that they have in common. People need to share love, not hate. Jerry would often talk about how important the Wednesday meeting was for him. He chaired the Wednesday meeting right up until 2 or 3 weeks before he died. You could tell he was in a lot of pain. He suffered through the pain of cancer courageously and seldom complained. He finally had to draft Tom and Ron to chair the meeting about 2 weeks before he died. And Jerry would sign on at the meeting and listen to it right up until the week before he died. He still had a good sense of humor right up until the end. The Wednesday meeting is a credit to him. It's billed as an 11th and 3rd step meeting. It's a very safe meeting where most of the men there talk about their spirituality. Everybody feels comfortable to openly discuss these topics, and everyone is respectful of the other's spirituality. Focusing on things we have in common, the members are not afraid to express their love for one another. And it is an all men's meeting. I think that feeling was inspired by the love and empathy demonstrated by Jerry. We miss you, Jerry, and love you, Jerry. As Jerry started to realize that he was nearing the end of his life, he started looking through some storage boxes, and he came upon a document which contained a share that his father had presented at an anniversary meeting, and also some writing that his mother had done about her experience with hospice. Jerry read his father's share at the Wednesday group meeting, and there was a lot of positive comments from the group. At another meeting, he also shared that his mother had done some writing on her hospice experience and how this experience was turned into a television special. Jerry shared this information with the Wednesday night group. These words of wisdom were part of his parents' legacy that they had left behind. It seemed to be something that he felt needed to be shared with the group. The friends of Jerry need the Wednesday meeting to continue. It has been carried on by Ron and Tom. They were notified about the Zoom subscription running out, and they were concerned that people were losing interest because the attendance was down. They called the group conscience meeting to find out how everybody felt about continuing the meeting. At the meeting, they called for a vote on whether we should continue the meeting. The vote was unanimous to keep the meet going. Everyone agreed to help provide whatever financial support was necessary to have the meeting continue. We felt there was a special connection between the regular attendees in the love one alcoholic has for another was very visible at this meeting. A number of people also expressed they felt that keeping the meeting going was an excellent way to show tribute to Jerry and his legacy. My sponsor once said that the long-timers that go to meetings and try to help other alcoholics have their sobriety live on after they pass. Jerry is a good example of that. In the words of Elton John from The Circle of Life, Jerry gave back more than he took. At the Wednesday night meeting, ever since Jerry passed away, someone also shares a Jerry story.